Hey Central East, this is TBV. This is Chaim Strassman, and we are starting the second parak. We are looking at Mishnayot Aleph through Vav 1 through 6, and these Mishnayot are really cool. There are a lot of really great ideas that are expressed in these Mishnayot. Namely, the first Mishnah talks about our relationship with mitzvot, commandments, and averot, sins, and how we might balance the two and make ourselves closer to mitzvot and keep ourselves further away from sins. The second Mishnah talks about the English phrase would be the idle hands do the devil's work in terms of keeping ourselves busy. And if we're involved in Talmud Torah and learning Torah and in our daily routine, be it school or work, that we're less likely to come to sin because we're involved and we're busy. But by far, the most well-known Mishnah and phrase from this set of Mishnayot comes from the fifth Mishnah. It's a statement by Hillel, and I can guarantee that everyone has heard this in some form or another, be it quoted from Pirkei Avot or elsewhere. But the Mishnah says that Hillel says, "Al tadin et chavercha ad shetagia limkomo," that you shouldn't judge your friend until you can really attain his place, that you can see where he's coming from. In other words, don't until you walk a mile in somebody's shoes, you shouldn't judge anyone. And what always has been striking to me about this is that people like to view this in the negative. That it's very easy to say, oh, you shouldn't look down on someone until you've been a mile in their shoes, right? That it's easy to say, oh, look at that person, he's a bum, that he must have failed that test because he didn't study at all. You don't always know what's going on, and you should try and judge someone positively. But I always like to look at this phrase a little bit differently, in the other way. That sometimes it's really easy to look at someone that seemingly might have life made, right? Instead of looking at that person that did really poorly on the math test, sometimes it's really easy to look at the person that did really well on the math test and think, wow, they're so smart, they don't try at all, they got it made. But the truth is, it could be that they really worked very hard. Obviously, sometimes there are people that are just naturally good at math. That happens. But sometimes people work very hard for their position in life, and they work very hard in a lot of areas. And sometimes we are quick to discount that and to think, oh, it's easy for them, and they don't put in effort. And to me, this is, I think, a greater meaning of that, because we have to recognize that we need to put in work in a lot of places in our lives, especially with our relationships with each other as people and our relationship with God. It's sometimes easy to look at our rabbis, to look at Sally or Aryeh Friedner or David Lichtig or Rabbi Goldberg or Rabbi Frankel, whoever it is, and think, wow, their relationship with God is easy. It comes to them naturally. But the truth is, they work really hard on it. I work really hard on it. I work really hard on all my relationships. I would try and work really hard in everything I do because the effort that we put in is going to be the result. So sometimes it's really easy to look at someone that's having an easy time of it and think it's natural. But the truth is, hard work is worth it. So I think limkomo, in their place, doesn't necessarily just refer to a lower place, that it's easy to be haughty and look down on someone. Sometimes we discount ourselves and we look up at someone and we say, wow, I couldn't do that, it must be easy for them. But the truth is, they worked hard on it, and if we work hard, we can get there too. So I think that ties in very much with the earlier Mishnayot in 1 and 2 that I mentioned before, that yeah, we have to worry about keeping ourselves close to mitzvot and keeping ourselves away from sin. And some people might seem as though they do that easily. Some people might seem like they have the balance between learning Torah and their daily routine down pat. But it could be they worked really hard on that. And if we put in that effort, we can reach that level as well. So I think that as NCSY is as awesome as we all know, that we can really try and put in this effort and stop looking up to people and think it's so easy. But maybe, we can take it upon ourselves to ask them for advice and how we can make it easier on ourselves, and maybe their routines or practices that they did that help them reach the place where they are. Because however high that we see people are, each and every one of us in our own way, we're able to make it.